What's good, y'all? Hope everybody's living well and staying blessed. It's your boy Marcus B. As always, I'm joined with the one and only Mr. Evan Simmons. And new guy Chris is actually with his family. We're still on break, so he's living well out there. Anyways, this is episode 50 of Holla at Your Boy. We did it. Woo! You want to put some fireworks sounds there?
Sure.
But this episode, kind of like we started, it was just with me and Evan. And we talk about the 2020 year, things that happened culturally with the quarantine, Black Lives Matter, and the presidential election, and then things that happened individually with struggles, growth, the problems that we had, the problems that we overcame, things that we learned from this year, and then we get into our resolutions and what we hope to gain for 2021 as we roll into the new year. Anyways, if you like what we're doing out here, make sure you like, follow, subscribe, and share with all your homies. That's the only way this gets out is if the homies help us out. So if you guys could share it, if you like what we're doing, please do so. We're at 128 subscribers on the YouTube channel. We still haven't done the analytics for any of the podcast things, but I imagine it's probably around the same thing. But yeah, we appreciate you guys. Hope you guys enjoy the episode. Peace. Happy New Year. And we're back.
Yeah.
For the first time in
a minute.
Yeah, it feels. When was the last time we were together?
Christmas episode was. Wait, was the last time we were together?
I think so.
It was 2 weeks ago? No, wait, was that 2 weeks ago?
About a week and a half at least.
A week and a half, yeah.
Yeah. Dang, man. Feels like a long time. How you been, dude?
I've been good, man. It's been, had a long Christmas thing. Went to my first wedding.
Oh, yeah. How was that?
Not my first wedding, but a first wedding. It was good. I mean, it was definitely weird seeing your friends get married.
Yep.
Like as soon as I saw, I was mainly friends with the bride. Like I had met the groom like through the bride and like made friends with him that way.
Okay.
But seeing the bride in the dress was like,
it's a weird vibe. It's a weird
like
feeling,
this
dude.
This is real. This isn't some weird invite anymore. Yeah, that was definitely a weird moment. But.
It's gonna be weird when for you when like Jacob.
Oh yeah.
And Kaylee.
Yes.
Yeah, Jacob and Kaylee. Dang,
Yeah.
Shout out to me for remembering that.
I was like, good for you.
Come on
Yeah.
now. It's gonna be weird for you when it's like you're friends with both of them.
Right.
And I imagine you're standing in Jacob's wedding, right?
I'm his best man.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So
you're
one of
his best
really
friends,
standing.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, so that's gonna feel weird because I was one of the groomsmen for my boy Jackson, and it was also weird because it was in August.
Yeah.
So just kind of 30 people maybe total, and I was like, oh, this is weird. I'm important. I don't like that.
Right. It's a little bit weird that first. I actually had to. I like to casually say I was in there in the wedding this weekend because it was band people.
Yeah.
And they marched Blue Nights together. And Blue Nights is their like encore song is "You're Just Too Good to Be True." So they played that at the reception.
Nice.
They like it's a bunch of band people, so they like had like brass instruments and stuff.
Oh, they like actually.
Yeah, they actually played
it. It wasn't like a recording.
No, they actually played it.
Is that badass or is that a little?
I don't know yet. I don't know because it's also it's a weird moment of like, yeah, band, but also for everyone else who isn't in band, it's like, what are they doing right now? But for us, it's like, woo.
Okay.
But one of the groomsmen was supposed to be playing tuba, and but they were supposed to like them like introducing the couple like to the reception, and the groomsmen come in, but he couldn't carry his tuba because they wanted it to be a surprise that we were going to play.
Gotcha.
Well, that they were going to play. I wasn't playing. But he needed someone to carry the tuba. He's like, Evan, you know how to carry instruments, so I carried a tuba. So I like to casually say that I was in their wedding.
Yeah.
I was not.
It counts. You're basically the flower girl.
I mean, yeah, except for I was the tuba man.
Yeah.
Tuba man.
I'm gonna say it's the same thing. So
Okay.
congratulations.
But
You're
yeah, it was very
Tuba man.
very surreal to be in someone else's wedding and to kind of like it kind of had that moment, of course, of like where are you at in your life and like you're like oh
It's a dark path to go down. Don't go down that path.
yeah, no, it was a bad experience thinking through that stuff. But yeah, otherwise it was a good wedding. Definitely like it was since it was smaller, it was less grandiose than I thought a wedding was.
Yeah.
Like I thought weddings were like more of a like
Nah, man. Movie weddings are not a thing.
yeah that was that's been my perception of weddings like for the most part. It's been movie TV
Yeah,
weddings.
Wedding Crashers is super illegitimate.
Okay, yeah, that
At
level.
least I like to believe. Like I've never, I've been to a handful of weddings.
Because those weddings are like that's your upper echelon. Like,
Yeah,
like
or like the weddings from like a New Girl.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't.
yeah, that
Those
kind of
weddings
stuff.
are.
Like
What
I
like
wonder how much those actually cost. Like
those
dresses
are
and,
like the 6-figure weddings, and
Yeah.
that's just bananas.
yeah, I guess that's what I was like. That's what I had in mind. And then when we got to the actual thing, I was like, oh yeah, this is how normal people have a
Yeah,
wedding.
it's just, yeah. Just people get together.
It was still nice. Like it was
dress up.
still
Yeah, solid venues.
yeah, really really solid venues. They picked this one house for the reception. It was super nice.
Yeah,
Like this like old kind of like I don't want to say like a plantation house, but like a it might have been like a plantation house, I guess. But it was super nice. Yeah, makes me like start to think about like wedding venues and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, okay.
I've been to one venue where I was like, I wouldn't be mad if we were here. It was so nice. Oh my goodness, yeah. It was like this really nice banquet hall.
Yeah.
All floor to ceiling windows.
Yeah.
And like you rolled up and there's this nice what is that thing called? Like the foyer.
Yeah.
Really nice foyer. Take pictures, sign in.
Yeah.
And then that goes straight into either you take a right and that takes you to the banquet hall, or you go straight through and that takes you to where the actual wedding is happening. So it's this outdoor in the forest, beautiful tree coverage. There's a waterfall in the back. There's stairs going up to
Yeah.
where like it fits really perfectly for like to have the groomsmen and the bridesmaids like
Yeah.
stacked up, and then boom boom at the top of the stairs. And yeah,
You're just like, this makes
this
sense.
this is a good one. This is a good one. I approve of this. I want to do.
It kind of makes me want to go to a bad wedding. I want to go to a really bad wedding. I want to see what that looks like. Have you?
I haven't been to a bad wedding, but I've been to like a
Like a poorly planned or like
no, like a family wedding. Like it was just like that's the only way I can describe it, because it wasn't a bad, like it was super cute, but it was like so
it was just casual or
it was so thin. Yeah,
Okay.
like there was no flower arrangement, there's no tabletop arrangements, there's no
okay.
It was just like we're getting married outside.
Right.
There's the bar inside, the reception is outside.
Super bare bones.
Bare
Like,
bones. We got Mexican food.
Right.
Go serve yourself. We're gonna dance for a little bit, and then peace out.
Right.
And I was like, that's nice. I dig that. Like nothing crazy. And I got other friends that just like eloped.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I feel about that.
I go back and forth on it because like I'm not a fan of ceremony, so like in my head I'm like, yeah, eloping sounds like totally fine. Like you just go get eloped and you're good to go.
Yeah.
But it also depends on my wife. Depends on what she wants.
I would be down to do like the eloping thing.
Yeah.
Elope?
Yeah.
I want to get eloped.
Yeah, to get eloped. Eloped.
Is there
Eloped
a-
feels wrong.
It feels wrong. But I'd be down for that, and then like balling out on the reception.
Oh yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. Having like a crazy, because really, I know there's a lot of planning that goes into a wedding, but is there like, I can't like,
I have no idea.
like.
I mean, there can be, like I said, there. I mean, you got to find the venue. I know that's a pain in the ass. You got to decide on food.
Yeah. But if it's like in a church, like the wedding I went to, like it was in a church,
Like all of
and
it was in the church.
the the wedding itself,
Okay.
the
Oh, okay.
the ceremony was in the church, and the no, this is a smart planning on their part. The church was already decorated for Christmas, so it
Nice.
already looked super nice. It was like
There you go.
it was also a beautiful church too.
I mean that too. You got to plan for the decorations.
Right. So
So they
like
definitely lucked out there.
yeah, they kind of looked out to where they picked like a perfect wedding place,
Yeah.
and then they also had the decorations for Christmas, so it kind of worked out. But yeah, I guess you do have to kind of like if that stuff isn't there already, you have to kind of build around it. And if
Yeah,
you
you got
ever,
to plan for that.
if
And then
you,
like, how do you do the tables? Do you want
yeah,
to do 4 tops, 6 tops, 8 tops, 8 top round, 6 top round, 6 top long, 8 top long? Do you want to do, and then it's like, is it just open seating? Do you
no,
want to do place cards? Do you have a centerpiece in each table? Do you have like a small centerpiece and then a main centerpiece? Where's the bride and groom party gonna be posted up?
right,
So there's a lot of flow, I
yeah,
think, that you have to worry about.
yeah. That was definitely a part of it that I didn't think about like because those was very much so like a lot of that stuff wasn't planned like it wasn't open seating. It was you had tables.
Okay.
So like we had like our UNT friends were at a table,
Yeah.
or like you know their drum corps friends that were at a table or something like that. So they had those like tables set up, but it was very like you know sit wherever you want to at that table. It's like
Yeah.
which
Yeah. Yeah.
that makes sense to me. That makes it you know there's the occasional person who's going to complain like I didn't get to sit to next to like whatever.
Whatever. Yeah.
That's your fault. Move faster.
Yeah. 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 I've done both where it's like completely open table, completely open seating.
Don't like that. That'd be too stressful.
But then also I did there was like, here's the table number and here's everybody at this table.
Yeah.
Only thing with that, make sure you number the tables.
Yeah, yeah. You have to have a clear card
The one
that
I went to
says,
didn't. There
"Oh,
was no table
see,
numbers, and that was the problem.
no, yeah, you got to do clear card table 7, like
Yeah.
right here, like because otherwise you have people that are just gonna be like, I didn't see the card. And
Yeah,
they're gonna sit, you
and
know.
and that's what we did. Like it was all the college like homies,
Yeah,
and we were like, we're on table 7. Where's table 7?
right.
And then we just kind of like it was me and then another person that like had worked in the food, and we were just like, okay,
You gotta hunt.
it was either like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
You're like just one.
or it's
Did
like
start here? Did
yeah.
it go around?
And we took a guess, and we like sat down and like we started like drinking from the glass and stuff,
Yeah.
and then like the grandma came up. She's like, "Who are you? Why are you here?" We're like,
Oh, we're sorry.
where are we supposed to be?" She's like, "You guys are on the other side." And we're like, Okay, sorry, don't yell at me.
Yeah, you gotta
Got to be clear."
have signs like clearly posted signs. That's how. Otherwise, you know, chaos ensues.
It's important, man. But yeah, so you vibing with weddings a little bit more.
Yeah, I think I get it now. I get it. I get what it's about. Sort of.
It's just a nice moment, man. I think that's really what it
Yeah.
comes down to. It's just a nice moment, and
Right. Yeah.
it's something that it sounds like such a cheesy trope, but it's like share the moment with the people closest to you.
Right. Yeah. It's definitely about, you know, sharing the you know the like you said the moment of them like telling each other that they're gonna love each other forever.
Yeah.
And like this is the moment where they're like finally like declaring it like to the world, like and then we all get to share in
Yeah.
it and then
Like
you
this
know.
is it for real, for real.
Right. Yeah. That's nice. That's nice
Yeah.
getting to see that. So, yeah, I think I get it. I think I get it now. Not so jaded anymore.
I'm glad, man. Let love into your heart. Love is tight.
Yeah. Okay. Said that wrong. Yes. Yes.
Right on, man. All right. So, and then how was your Christmas?
It was good. It was good. Went home. Was at my parents' house for a couple of days. Being home is always, you know, love you, mom. But you know,
No, you're watching.
but after a while, it's like, okay,
Yeah, I mean,
let's come back.
you get used to your space and just being
That's
being
that's
like
the thing. you used to sitting in your bed. And
Yeah,
like
it's the big thing is like every time I go like even to like other people's houses, like I'm just like I feel inclined to do something. Like
right, yeah.
they're like I always feel bad, even if everybody's like, all right, we're just gonna chill before like we do dinner, and I'm just like,
we're not
are
gonna
you sure?
we're not
Like
gonna do
we're not
anything.
doing anything right now. You're just gonna let me kind of sit on your couch.
Right.
I feel weird just sitting on your couch.
Like there's only two places where I can go and do that, and that's my parents' house and Kaylee and Jacob's. It's the only places I can go where I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna go here and we're gonna do nothing for a day.
Nothing. Like at all.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very hard to go somewhere and just do nothing. Because the first day, I went back and I drove back to my old middle school and my old elementary school.
Nice. A little nostalgia trip.
Yeah, I actually literally called it that. I was like, I'm gonna go on a nostalgia trip, and it was very weird. I thought my middle school was bigger. It's not. You had that space where it was like the big space, like wherever you think it was like this huge space, and then I went back, I was like, oh, it's like this little tiny little courtyard, like it's nothing.
A little 12 by 12 thing.
Right, it's literally
what?
nothing. Drove by the old band halls and was like, oh yeah, I ran out of those doors multiple times. I've always wanted to like go back like into those band halls and be like, hi, I was a student here. Like, but I feel like you can't do that. You can't walk in and be like, hi, I'm a teacher.
unless the directors that you had are still there.
They're not though. Yeah. That's the.
So then that's when it gets dicey.
Yeah.
I did the same thing when I went to my buddy's wedding in New Mexico. I had no idea where it was. They were just like, "Yo, we're getting married in New Mexico," and all it was all the high school homies. So we rented a van and we just drove over there. Super dope trip. It was a lot of fun, but like I started having this weird again the memory thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't exist, but like they're like, oh, we're here mad early. We're gonna go stop for some food, and then like, we're gonna watch. Ant-Man.
Ant-Man, okay.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, I think was the Marvel movie at that time.
Yeah.
And we're like, word, and so like, we kind of veer off, and like we start going down, and like I'm looking around, and I'm like, what are we doing? Where are we?
This looks familiar.
This looks super familiar. Why does this look so familiar? And then we get into the mall, and like, I just have this weird, like, overwhelming feeling. I'm like, where am I?
A big moment of deja vu. You're like, I know.
And then I texted my sister. I was like, where did we grow up in New Mexico? She said the city. And I looked at like where we were. I was like, holy shit. I'm back.
I'm back here.
It has been like, when did I leave? I left when I was 13. Yeah, it had been 13 years. It had been 13 years since I'd been there.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't like this.
Yeah, it's a weird moment to go back. Like I hadn't been back to Garland in 11 years, and I drove by places and was like, I drove in this street every day, like my bus took this turn. Like, how did I not?
Yeah.
Well, it was the most surreal moment, and this is sorry, microphone. One of the most surreal moments was I was sitting in my car at my middle school.
Oh, that's a weird one.
And I was like, I've never done this before. Like, I've been to this place many times, but I've never sat in my car at my middle school.
I'll one up you. We went back to my childhood home.
Oh.
And I got out the van and like I kind of like walked, like there was a family there obviously.
Yeah.
And I was really debating on whether being like,
can I?
Like, hey, I used to live here 13 years ago. And I'll prove it.
Yeah.
But like I could tell you what the layout is. I remember what the layout is. But I was like, no. But so then what I did instead is I walked to the bus stop.
I wouldn't want to do that.
And that was a
Oh,
weird one, dude.
that sounds
It
weird.
was super strange. Again, same deal. I was like, I felt like this walk was so long. It was literally a block over.
Right? It's not really that far. It's never that far.
And I remember the street like we lived on. It was like I just remember it being like super long,
Mm.
and like I kept back there and like, oh no, it's like 10 houses,
Right. It's not that
super
far.
normal.
Yeah. But when we were kids, that walk or that, especially if you have to like get back home or if you have to, like that walk was the longest walk
Yeah,
ever.
man. Yeah, it
Like,
was weird. I feel you there. It was definitely this weird nostalgia,
yeah.
and
Yeah, I didn't know what to think about. Like for some reason I accurately judged the size of my elementary school. I was like, oh yeah, that's the right size.
this feels
Uh,
right. Okay.
but my middle school I was so just like sitting in the car there. I was like, man, what does 12-year-old like me think about this right now? Like that was a weird moment of like,
That's the next one. I need to make a. I really want to make a trip down to Claremont
yeah,
because I remember those roads a little bit more,
yeah.
and just like
That's the thing. I didn't remember the roads as much. Like a little bit of the driving, like nearby the school, I did, and then I tried to get back home without GPS because
yeah,
I knew my address, but I wasn't like I didn't want to like I wanted to like navigate it myself to see if like I could like, um, I don't know.
just the synopsis
Yeah,
in your
like
mind.
mental it or whatever. Um, I tried that to get there.
Synapses. Hey, my bad.
Yeah,
Synopsis.
I was like synopsis
My
plot.
bad. Yeah, my bad.
But I tried to get back and I couldn't. I couldn't figure it out.
Damn.
Like I got a couple of streets down. I was like, this feels right.
Maybe.
No, no. There's Spring Creek. Nope, we're too far.
I think I still remember the street I grew up in Florida. Grew
Hmm.
up on in Florida. It was Hidden Lake Circle.
Hmm.
It was a weird subdivision. Looking back on it, like
Yeah.
it's quite literally like it's a straight line down, and there's a bunch of like these the parallel streets,
Yeah.
and then you hit a dead end, and it's a circle,
Hmm.
and there's a lake in the middle of it,
Hmm.
and then you go around this circle, and I think there's like one or two streets like on the Y,
Yeah.
but then again just straight back, and then straight lines out.
Hmm.
Like that's a weird
Yeah.
like that's a weird layout for a subdivision.
Subdivision.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. My place was like we lived in this place called it was Marcella Lane, and this neighborhood was so cool because it was mostly these giant hills,
Yeah.
like a bunch of hills, and they were all kind of like like it might have been like one big hill that I just like didn't perceive but there was a bunch of like kind of like wind down the streets like up and down the hill, and what we would
Nice.
do whenever I got a skateboard, well the first skateboard I got was this like crappy Shrek one from Big Lots.
There you go. Yeah. Ooh, Big Lots.
Yeah,
Not
it
even
was.
Walmart.
I'm like kind of surprised that I remembered I got it from Big Lots.
My stuff at least came from Walmart.
Yeah, no, this was from Big Lots. This was like
Rough.
$10, like
Oof.
like wheels that would not even spin. Like try to ride it down the hill, made it like a quarter way, tripped, fell. Like, and then when I went to Zoomies and got my actual skateboard,
Yeah.
we would take those up and down the hills and
Hell
stuff.
yeah.
It was dangerous, so dangerous to do
Sketchy
that.
stuff back in middle school, man.
Yeah,
Super sketchy
stuff
stuff.
we did
back
was
in
like
middle
not
school.
definitely like, could have gotten killed.
Yeah.
If a car.
Dude, I used to sketch on people's bikes with my Heelys.
Really.
Yeah. Like I would hold on to their
Wow.
back seat while they're pedaling, and I'm just like, it just
The things we did, like it was
Bananas.
it was not okay. But hey, we made it.
Yeah,
That's just being a
used
kid.
to-
You
used
just
to
do.
roll with kids on my handlebars because in eighth grade I got one of those Schwinn's, like the old school
Yeah.
Schwinn's. So like it had the bucket handlebars.
Yeah.
So like I remember a kid, James Whitaker, he sat on the handlebars, and then this car came like flying around the corner, and I freaked out, and I kicked the front brake and whoop, rough.
Woo!
It was a rough time. I fell a lot as a child.
You did.
Oh yeah, The CTE doesn't just come from sports. It was a lot of
A lot of accidents.
a lot of stupidity.
Yeah, I didn't fall. Like that's my claim to fame is I've never broken a bone or anything.
But I never broke a bone.
Good.
Yeah,
You just hurt your head a lot.
just hurt my head a lot. Sprained a bunch of wrists. Knees are torn up. Never broke anything.
So that's being a kid.
That's
Being a kid is just
man.
doing. I'm convinced, like between teaching and actually being a child, like being a kid is just doing stupid stuff until you grow up. Like that's like
Yeah.
I'm convinced that's what being a kid is, and so you
You
got
just keep sucking at things until you stop.
right.
Yeah, dude. I growing up, weird.
Yeah,
Weird nostalgia.
it's a weird time growing up.
And what sucks is I can't go back to my high school band hall because they tore it down. They got a new building.
Oh.
So I don't get that
Yeah, you can't.
high school nostalgia.
Right.
There's a couple things I can do
Yeah.
that was still kind of get some vibes going.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean the band hall is gone, and that was like 75% of high school for me. Maybe
See-
go to the dance studio.
Yeah. I mean, like my, luckily the band hall that we had was built. I think when did the band hall get finished? Was that my sophomore? It had to be my sophomore year. So like the new band hall was like built sophomore year. So
So you've got a relationship with it.
yeah, and it'll be around for a while.
Quite
So
some
I'm like, I do want like I've started had I was very against getting a job
Yeah.
there, but now I'm kind of like maybe like be fun,
Yeah.
be fun.
No, I would. I think that's the only. I think that's the only San Antonio school I would go by myself to. Right, like I would. Of course, I want to go back to San Antonio in general.
Yeah.
But like, I would. I really want. I would really only want to go there if like I was tight with the head director or the assistant director. Like,
Yeah.
I was being asked out like to be on the team.
Yeah,
Like that specific team. Otherwise, like, but Holmes is like, I would go there, just kick it by myself.
right.
I dig that.
I mean, this is weird. It's gonna be so hard. Like, I hope whatever job like happens later on in life, I hope it's as close as it is like now, like with friends.
Yeah,
Like I've heard too many horror stories. People like just going to places and
not
no
being tight with
friends.
anybody.
Like I'm like
That's a big
I'm
part
like,
too of
dude,
like,
that would be just awful to go somewhere and like you don't know anyone. And I mean that was kind of like how we started. We started here. Like,
yeah,
we
no, dude,
didn't
it was
know
rough
anyone.
at the jump.
Like I mean, we met at Pizza Wings and things like for the first time.
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
Yeah, and you were like, we're hanging out.
The only other dude, we're in the same age range, and everybody else is white.
So
We gotta be tight.
and now look at us.
Look We're
But yeah, 50 episodes.
50 episodes deep, man. You're a big part of my 2020. I was thinking about that, just kind of like throughout the day. I was kind of deciding like how to go about it. I don't want to be like too cheesy,
Yeah.
with like the nostalgia, but just like think about like we have actively been together since like
A lot of 2020.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I think we started doing family dinners in April.
Yep.
Yeah. And then you roll that into the show getting started in July, and then we've been together
Three nights a week.
3 nights a week. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. It's been like just we're 50 episodes in. I'm just like didn't I never expected to be 50 episodes into anything. You know what I mean? Like I thought, a podcast is going to happen eventually, but I never thought, like it's actually going to go like 50.
Yeah.
And we're like, we're here.
My dad
We're here.
my dad asked me this question. I talked to him on Christmas. Talked to my family on Christmas since they're all up in Virginia. And the way he asked it, like I was like really kind of what do you mean? He was like, how many more episodes do you have left? And I was like,
It doesn't stop.
yeah, until I'm tired of doing it. But he meant like how many episodes until I'm done with 50, until I hit the 50 mark.
Oh, okay.
But just the way he asked it, I was like, but then I also started thinking, I'm like,
How many episodes do you have left?
I don't. Yeah, I mean, as long as I've got people to talk to,
Right.
I don't see any reason to not do it.
Yeah, that's the one thing about podcasts is it's really a thing of I call it the Dave Chappelle mentality of like, once you're done, you're done. But if you're not done, you just don't.
Yeah, yeah, man. It's
Which I hate. Real quick, anyone who yelled at Dave Chappelle at one of his comedy shows, I didn't know that was why he quit Chappelle Show.
Really?
Because people were yelling like I'm Rick James, like people were yelling that at him, like
yeah,
at his comedy shows. He was like, "This is ruining me. Like this is ruining like what I love doing."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh."
Aside from the money stuff, yeah, I imagine that was
Right.
That would definitely to just be annoying as shit.
Like to for what you're to do something that creative and that like exploratory and that fun for you to get it ruined. That's just because once Chappelle Show came on Netflix, that was my first time watching the entire series.
I didn't get a chance to watch it. I'm pissed.
Dude, wait, is it off now?
Yeah.
Oh snap!
He asked them to take it off because of how
People were receiving it.
no, how bad the contract was and how he's still not getting paid for it.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And there's a whole deal there, and I don't want to get too much into it because I don't know too much about it. But like the comedy podcast I listened to,
Yeah,
they were touching on it, and just kind of how everybody saw both sides of it.
Yeah.
Both as like as a network and as where Dave was coming from, but then at like kind of at the base of it's like, Doug. Now, as we look back on it, of course it makes sense for you to call out a bullshit contract,
Right?
And they were doing you wrong, and you are now worth more. But back then, you were 28, and you were just like, they're taking a risk on you, just like they were taking a risk on anybody.
Right.
So it's like
you're only two seasons. He wasn't even 2 seasons in on the way before he like started making those like, hey, this might not happen.
yeah. So it's just like the bulk of it is like, yeah, man, get your money. I get it, but also like you can't be mad at a network for giving you a spotty deal,
right?
When they don't know if it's actually gonna turn it. They don't know that you're gonna become one of the most prolific comedians
out there
in all of history. They're just like, you're 27.
Well, I guess he didn't know. Are you coming through on that?
Check.
Yeah. I guess he didn't know how long. I mean, I kind of like think of it like that way. Like he didn't know how long they were gonna make him like whatever that contract was for.
Yeah.
Like, what if that contract was for like, hey, we want you to do 10 seasons for like $25 million. It's like. Okay, but that...
And again, that's where it gets dicey because technically he complained about the money thing, and it was only a 2-year deal at first, and then the re-signing thing was like them being like, "Yo, you worth the money. Here's that $60 million."
Yeah.
I don't know what the length was on that second contract.
Like how many episodes was he gonna have to do? Another he'd done.
I think 50. Right, I think it was 25 a season.
Was it 20? I think it was like 22.
Okay.
But yeah, it wasn't that much. So like, was he gonna do another 200? Like doing the 200 episodes?
Yeah.
And I kind of like his whole story about the pimp, and that like where he was like, yeah, that's what Comedy Central was going to do to me. They were gonna make me they're gonna make me work till my last drop, and now we wouldn't be getting the specials he's putting out now.
Yeah.
If he was still doing it, he would have been doing Chappelle Show for 10 years. And
the entire thing's weird. I get both sides of it.
Yeah.
Like listening to the people, the other comedians talking about it, I get both sides of it, but it's definitely like, okay. Yeah. It worked out for you, dog. I understand that you're still bitter about it, but it worked out for you. You're all right. You're Dave Chappelle. Oh. You're out here charging $250 for a ticket for you and Joe Rogan, which I figured out why it's so expensive.
Why? Because it's like single like seating or like not single seating, but like
Well, it is single seating, but it's because they're doing actual COVID tests there.
oh okay okay
So it's like that's what. So they're able to fit 400 people in there because it's like everybody's negative.
right.
You're good. Let's do this show.
Oh, so they're gonna do it like a live like audience like
Yeah, they already did it, dude.
oh they did
I sent
okay.
you those.
Oh right
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we did. They just got done with what their like little stint was at Stubbs.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're fixing to do it again. I think here in January. But I
250 like
I love Rogan and Chappelle.
I like comedy, but like especially those two like, but I don't know.
I was super down to do 250 for a 4-top.
Right. Yeah, that sounds fine to me.
That's
you said like $42 a
I
person.
could wrap
like,
that in my head around that.
Not $42. So much
I
is
think
that?
it's like 72.
Yeah.
But 250 for a single, like
Yeah,
that's
no, that's too. Like, I'm wondering who's like paying that much for. I'm sure there are.
I mean,
people-
they sold out in less than 5 minutes.
Okay. I mean, yeah, there are people that are
I mean, it's Rogan and Chappelle, man. It's like two of the
right.
most prolific comedians at in the time currently.
But also, have you seen COVID comedy now? Like,
I mean, we went to the show in Houston.
no, did you? Oh, yeah. We went to that show in Houston, and then Kevin Hart, his new special. It was
Didn't like it.
It was okay. It was definitely. I like when artists get back to what they are what they're best at. I don't think Kevin Hart was good at the whole stadium thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad that he was like, all right, I'm gonna do a small venue. Like,
Yeah.
granted, it was his house, but yeah, like COVID comedy is so just. I find it weird because it's supposed to like reflect the time or whatever, but it's like it's reflecting a weird time right now. Like, I just don't want to hear a pandemic joke.
And I mean, I think that's the difference though, is like about Chappelle and Rogan and Bill Burr and all those dudes, Bert Kreischer. I don't think they're doing those bits. Like they're older than like they can just have a joke that doesn't have to do with.
So I was in quarantine the other day, and
yeah. I mean that's gonna be that's a lot of those Zoom comedians that are been in the game for 5-10 years and they don't quite have that.
I heard about someone doing a Zoom open mic. Dude, that sounds
like my nightmare.
Awful.
I don't know that was my nightmare, but it sounds like it.
Like, I would actually die. Like now, granted, it's not as mortifying because you don't have to walk off stage. You just hit the leave button. But like, oh no, that'd be so bad. Like, everybody go on mute so I can make you like. What if it's dead silent and you don't even know?
I'm not down. Yeah, not down. Bro.
Yeah, that's so scary. I would never do anything like a Zoom open mic, like, which the whole Zoom like birthday parties and stuff. I'm like, it's all fake.
That's just gross. I mean, I don't even like doing the Zoom podcasts, but
yeah, I mean those are. Luckily, that's only one person.
Yeah.
So it's not like because if you had to interact with multiple people on that kind of format,
yeah, I definitely couldn't do that. Yeah, like I'm watching these like TV shows like when I'm back in the gym, and they've got these news the daily shows or whatever garbage, and there's just 5 people up there on the screen. I'm just like, this is gross.
I tried keeping up with all the like I watched this well, it's called the Squadcast. It's by All Def Comedy. It's like a black comedy
Gotcha.
group. And
I've heard of that one. Yeah.
Yeah, they were doing it. They had a podcast, and I also watched Fandom Entertainment where they talk about like movie news and stuff like that.
Okay.
I used to watch that stuff literally every single day. Like that was like a part of like my afternoon was watching that stuff. Now I'm just like, I don't want to watch people on a Zoom call. They're still doing them, but like I don't really.
It's just gross, man. It just
call.
doesn't feel the same.
It doesn't.
And it makes me sad. And if there's one thing, I will keep the masks.
Yeah.
I will do the 6 feet apart. I got no problem with that.
Yeah.
But can we get off the Zoom thing, man? Like, ugh.
I mean, people have to, you have to get the content out there. And if it's more than, 2, 3 people, like, you get into, like, I guess some of that stuff also probably has to do with, like, legal and stuff like that. It's like, hey, you got COVID at work. They weren't doing social distancing. Sue.
Yeah,
And
but then I'm also in the thought process of Rogan, where it's like, I'm just gonna pay to get you tested.
Right, yeah.
You test negative.
Come on the show.
What do we?
Yeah, what's the...
What's the harm?
Right.
There's 3 people in this room.
Right.
Me, Jamie, and you. We're all negative.
So, no one's getting Rona here.
No one's getting Rona here. Everybody on staff is tested negative as well. So like, what are we stressed about? And I'm just like, why can't Fox do that? Why can't CNN do that? It's like,
Oh, is CNN also doing?
I don't know, man. I just assume all the news networks are all
doing some
Zoom,
kind
and it's like, I get that it's convenient, and you're.
I need to watch like Good Morning America and like look out the window.
It sounds
and
disgusting.
And see people like standing like there's like 2 people outside of
Ugh.
or it's like a virtual window. I've seen that. I find those in the sporting events where they have like virtual crowds or whatever.
This virtual crowd's the most gross thing.
That's so weird to me.
Like, shout out to the UFC. They did it right.
Where they had no crowd.
Just no crowd.
Yeah. Don't even fake it. Like
Don't fake it. The UFC and NBA, when they did the bubble,
Yeah.
they both did.
Now, granted, if you don't have the facility for that, then gotta do the weird. Like,
Well, yeah, but I mean, just like the fake crowd on like The Voice.
oh no!
That's
yeah.
gross. Like what?
Like, I
What
feel,
is that for?
It's for the athlete that needs the to actually like focus.
No, man, just put up.
Like it's
Do
like
your-
it's like practice.
Do
like,
your work. Yeah.
No one's yelling at you in practice, so
Yeah.
same way.
And I mean, the UFC talked about that, where there is like some, like Conor McGregor,
Yeah.
he gets you put him in front of 100,000 people, and he's like, oh, it's time.
You definitely get that moment of like if he gets a solid jab on someone and the whole crowd goes,
Yeah.
oh, like,
dude,
you
there's
definitely get, like, hyped
so
up.
many fights that would have been so bananas,
Right.
if it was at a live crowd.
Right.
But like just talking like athlete to athlete, there are those that are just like, yo, I need the crowd so that way I'm able to perform.
Right.
And I have that
Because then like
motivation.
without the crowd, it's just sparring. Like
Yeah.
it is televised and stuff like that, but like it does feel like does feel like sparring
For sure, and especially since they got the smaller cage, and it's just
Right.
everything is smaller. But then you have those other athletes that are just like the amount of people watching them gives them anxiety, and they don't perform as well because they're
Right.
thinking about that.
Right.
So like they are.
You saw like Cowboy Cerrone was like that.
Yeah,
right?
Cowboy Cerrone is like
Yeah.
a big part of that. Like he hates going out to fight. Like he wants he speaks about it openly. He's like
He'd rather just fight.
I want to quit every single time. I want to throw up. It's terrible.
Yeah.
But then he had a fight back in like June, at the Apex Center with no crowd, and he was just like, yeah, felt fine.
Right.
And also talking about that, the cool thing about the way UFC did things, it's not, you got the fights that you wanted, but you also only got the fights that could happen. So like it was this weird, like everybody like in the top 15 basically always had to be kind of prepared to
Right.
step in like 2 weeks before, a week before,
Okay.
because it's like if homeboy tests negative, like
Then you gotta be ready to go.
like somebody's got to be
The fight's happening.
yeah
tonight.
the fight's happening. Somebody's got to be down to
Right.
do it, and like shout out Paul Felder, he stepped in I think in like 4 days on 4 days notice, and he was like 184 and he weighed in at 155. Yeah.
4 days, he lost 30 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
That's also why I don't believe in people saying that they can't lose weight. I'm just like, you can.
You can.
Mind you, he killed himself
I was about to say, like, he probably gained all of that weight back
immediately. Yeah. But it's possible.
Yeah.
Same thing with Jorge Masvidal. Like, he lost, I think, 27 pounds in 3-4 days.
What weight is that? Is that just like the excess like water and like a little bit of excess fat that you're carrying?
Yeah.
Like
You pull all the fat out, you pull all the water out.
before you know it, you're
Like Masvidal had a picture of like one of the things that they did, and just he just straight up laying on the hotel floor, and they have like flowers, towels.
I thought you were gonna say flautas for some reason. I was like, that's how you gain weight is laying on a hotel floor eating flautas. Like just chicken and
It just sounds like a great time right now. I want to lay on the
queso.
floor, shoveling queso in my mouth with a flauta. No, he got like boiling water, not boiling water, but like really really hot water, and soaked towels in it,
Yeah.
and then laid it on his entire body, so that way he just like is sweating.
You just sweat out everything and just
Yeah,
it's possible.
it's possible. It's not good. It's not healthy.
I'm about to say that's probably not the best way to lose weight, but
No, that's not. But like anybody that's like if it like if you had a bet like by the end of 2020 you were gonna lose
yeah,
50 pounds and you were at like 40.
you're like, here we go.
Like if you're at 40 right now, what's today's date?
It's the 29th. I think.
29th.
Yeah.
If you had started on Sunday, you could lose those 10 pounds
Yeah,
easy.
yeah.
Like if you had a bet on it, like somebody was like $100.
Because I've lost. There was one weekend where I lost 10. Oh no, I lost 10 pounds in, was that 2 days? I remember one day. Yeah, I lost 10 pounds in like one day.
Yeah.
It was from food poisoning.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, you can lose weight.
You can do it.
Wait, it's like there's about 10, 15 pounds of you that's stuff that you don't need to carry around with you.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I mean, talk
You-
about
you
the
probably learned that,
bodybuilding
like-
thing. Hell yeah, dude. Dude, I lost from the beginning of the week.
Yeah.
I think I was at 172, and I think show day I was 160. Yeah.
Whew.
I meant to post those pictures. I took a picture every day
Yeah.
of peak week because there was so many, like each day was so specific and
Yeah.
different as far as like intake and workouts and water and food, that I was curious. So I just took the same pose every single day, and I was just like there is a substantial difference
Yeah.
from day to day as far as like so like I was kind of talking about the water. So I did 2 gallons on Monday, 2 gallons on Tuesday, gallon and a half Wednesday, gallon Thursday, gallon Friday. I had to be done with that gallon by 10 p.m.
Yeah.
So there was 14 hours between my last drink and stage.
And no water in between there.
No, like there was like
A little sip,
they'll sip to like take pills,
but nothing to like
but like no like actual water intake. And it did actually end up screwing me up because like I still had some like surface injuries from when I fell on my bike.
Yeah.
I couldn't walk. Like because I was so dehydrated that like all the tendons and the muscles in my leg were still tender enough, so there wasn't anything like actively like
Right.
repairing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like I thought I was just like tense because like I was telling you I was posing for so long, but no, like I thought about it, like the where specifically it was hurting, it was the spots that like I busted up
Right.
with on the bike. So that took about a day to kind of rehydrate and get my body right after that. But yeah, dude, the body's weird.
The body is weird.
Body is
It's a weird
super
machine
weird.
that is. I saw something was like, do you know how like crazy like your circulatory system is? Like just all the blood and stuff running through you is so
Wild.
complex, and don't even get me started on the brain and like the.
The nerve system is what stresses me out.
Aren't you glad you're not a brain scientist?
I'm just glad I'm not any of that.
I almost was. I almost did a
Nope.
pre-med. Oh, thank
Nope,
you.
nope, nope,
Thank
nope.
you for not letting me do pre-med. Oh man.
Dude, I'm gonna use the restroom real quick, and
Oh.
when we get back, let's talk about 2020, man. This is
Yeah.
our New Year's.
That's right.
On
Yeah.
top of it being our episode 50, it is also the New Year's podcast. So let's
Put 2020 in a nice.
yeah, man. Something like that. 2020.
Yeah.
What a ride. What a ride it has been, my friend.
I've had this thought since like April. The slogan for 2020 should be, well, that was weird, right? I still need that to be the slogan for 2020.
I
Like,
agree with that.
just a weird blip in history where we were like, whoa, this is crazy. Remember
Crazy.
that weird year where like everything went to heck? Like,
Just
oh,
it felt like everything was falling apart because it was.
yes. Which, like, I don't think, I kind of wonder what, like, later on in our life is going to be this dramatic. Where it's like, hey, everybody wear a mask. Like, when, it's very Black Mirror, like, walking out in places and, like, seeing
Yeah.
everyone, you're just like, oh, we've all just committed to, like, oh, this is, like, it's necessary, but, like, we've all committed to, we're all going to wear a mask right now.
It's very strange. And speaking of, the guy from Black Mirror said that he wasn't writing this year because nothing that he could come up with was going to be weirder than the current
Than right
situation.
now. Yeah. That makes perfect sense.
Which is bananas to think because that dude has come up with some of the
Write some very weird things, yeah.
wildest scenarios, and
There's no
he
more
can't
wild.
come up with anything
There's no
better
more
than
wildest scenario than like, so there's a nationwide pandemic and
there's a global pandemic.
yeah. Oh yeah, sorry, global pandemic. There's a
Um,
global pandemic. We all have to wear masks and we all have to be inside for most of it.
and a lot of people are dying, but not a lot of people are dying, and we can't really figure out why people are dying. We think it's just because they're fat or they've got other pre-existing conditions, but that's not really proven because there's a lot of healthy people that have died as well.
Right.
Old people die, but young people die too.
Yeah. Everyone's just kind of dying, and we're just kind of like, oh, whoa, how do we stop this?
Now there's a vaccine, and half the country or the world doesn't think that it exists. And well, okay.
And people, whenever the vaccine
So-
came out, were like, I don't know about the vaccine.
I'll break it up into threes. I'll break it up into threes. There's the people that are just like, dope, vaccine. Means we
Good.
get to go back to
Hit me
life.
up.
Give it to me, baby. And then there's the middle people. Well, I'll say I kind of am, but my definition not quite. But like the middle people, where they just don't trust vaccines, and not in like a conspiratorial way. They're just like
why are we doing
like some like I understand that vaccines are what hepatitis A, B,
Yeah.
smallpox,
why I don't have
polio,
measles right now,
like
yeah.
measles, like all those things are cured by vaccines. Dope, but then also it's like the knowledge that of like. Of course, all the legitimate scientific
Knowledge of-
points are out of my window. But there is like some like legitimacy behind it, where it's like not that the vaccines cause autism, but like people have like my kid was fine, then they had to take these vaccines, and now they have like seizures. I know I said autism.
I need to find out about those
yeah.
things.
There are certain things. There
Yeah.
are certain cases where like kids took not with autism, but like they develop epilepsy. Like there
From
is
a vaccine.
from vaccines. Yeah.
Interesting.
So like they don't not believe in vaccines, but they're just like a little sketched out.
Okay.
And then
There's people that are like this
there's the conspiracy folk that think Bill Gates are trying to chip them.
microchips.
Yes.
And they
So it's great.
They look at the memes with their phone. They're like, they're gonna find a microchip to track us. Like what are you doing right now?
This is it. It's right here.
It's like you've already done it. If you're looking at Facebook at the memes for it, then yeah, this has been like the weirdest I think thing that has ever happened to. I know for me and for a lot of people, like I don't know of anything that's gonna happen. That's gonna be like weirder than this. Something weird. Something really sci-fi would have to like something.
Alien invasion.
Something kind of Black Mirror level would have to happen, to where it's like.
Which is coming. I feel the alien invasion coming.
You think so?
Yeah.
The
I don't think it's gonna be like a War of the Worlds type alien invasion, but I think they're gonna be like, "Hey, what's up?"
you know about the monoliths, right?
Yeah. Bitch ass artists.
Yeah, those are very Is it? You think it's as artists?
No, it's been proven that it was artists.
Oh,
Yeah.
poo.
Yeah. Right.
I
Yeah.
kind of wanted it to be like a. I was like, oh, this is how it begins. This is.
But
They put the monoliths in.
previous to that, the
Yeah.
government did state that UFOs are a real thing.
Yeah. Didn't there was some some. It wasn't from like our government. I think it was like from like the Swedish government or something like that, where he was like, "Yeah, we've known about aliens."
Yeah.
It was like,
Oh no, it was a homeboy from Iran.
yeah.
Who is not a super notable source, but
I was like, yeah, like that's probably like false, but like, just the idea that yeah, this stuff might be it might be real. It's like, oh, okay.
yeah,
Our cookie cutter world really got
fell
rocked.
apart.
It got really rocked this year.
So quick.
Like it was just like, oh, we just keep doing
It was terrible.
like everyone with this is why I think so many people, when it came to things like sports and school and just normal daily life, why so many people were so mad about having to go into quarantine was because like we thought that cycle of things was going to keep happening.
Yeah.
Like we thought, this is how my life is. I do this every year. Like I go to a football game every Friday during
During the fall semester.
during the fall. Like that's gonna be
I'm guaranteed 10 Fridays.
right. But this year was like, no, like
You're not gonna do
there's
that.
no guarantees.
Yeah.
Like this could end next week. Like who knows?
Yeah, and don't get us wrong. We're not trying to wrap up 2020 and say that like, all right, yeah, once it hits January 1st on Friday, the world's going back to normal.
No, it
not
definitely-
saying that.
Definitely won't. As soon as that happens, yeah, that won't be a thing.
That'd be wild if it did. Could you imagine? Just on January 1st, like everybody that's in the hospital right now, it just like
I saw a thing on the
gets wiped away. Like they're just like they just all just wake up, get out of bed. They're like, yeah, I guess I'm fine now.
This thing online was like, so Ashton Kutcher on December 31st, you just got punked. I was like, yes.
Oh my god.
Oh,
That'd be amazing.
That'd be great for them to just be like, ha ha, we just punked everybody. Like, no.
That'd be impressive.
We didn't punk everyone.
That'd be impressive.
But yeah, that's the, I don't think anyone's ever going to eat a bat ever again.
No.
I don't
hope
think
not.
anyone, like, is ever going to eat a bat ever again. Not that you should have been, but, if you had to, you had to. But, not even Bear Grylls is going to be out there like, all right, I'll eat a bat. No. No Bear Grylls. We don't eat bats anymore. That's like, we've learned, that's rule number 1 now. Human rule number 1 is
Don't do that.
don't eat bats.
Yeah, dude, it's just been so strange. And it's I mean, we talk about it a bunch, just like the way people have pivoted
Yeah.
this year, and whether they pivoted for the better or worse has been a really weird thing to observe.
Well, how do you mean on that? Are you talking about like people like as far as like quarantine or like?
Like the UFC pivoted well. They're just like,
Oh yeah.
we gonna keep making fights happening.
Well, yeah, they were able
What do I have to do to make fights
people
happen?
that actually made the transition into.
NBA. We're gonna take a couple months off. We're gonna push the season back, but we're
Right.
gonna make it happen. They pivoted really well. Baseball did not pivot well.
No.
Um,
Didn't a bunch of teams get COVID?
yeah, dude. The entire like Marlins, like we're out. It was
Yeah.
bananas. Businesses that pivoted really well.
Which I'm sorry for anyone that started a business this year and they're like hoping for a big boom.
Shout out to anybody that made it through though.
Oh yeah, if you made it through this, if you like started a business and made it through this, or if you had like a new business and because it was hard. I'm sure that was like extremely hard.
Yeah.
Like I got this guy up in Denton, Tony Barrett. He has like his it's a woodwind repair shop and they sell stuff there too. Like he that kind of store doesn't really exist.
It doesn't function well during a pandemic.
But he's been able to survive through
He's
it.
holding it down?
I'm like,
Hell
Dude,
yeah, dude. Good for him.
that's super hard.
Shout out to him for making it through. Um, and then like restaurants,
Yeah.
close near and dear, close to my heart, restaurant and bars.
Right.
Um, and the thing that sucks is I know that there were restaurants that I wanted to go to that I don't know are closed.
Right. Yeah. You don't know if they stayed open or not.
Yeah.
I drove by talking about the nostalgia trip I took. I drove by one of the places we went to, and I was when I was in school, and they're still open.
Shout out.
Max's Donuts in Allen, they're still open.
Hell yeah.
I drove by just to I was like, man, I hope that place like survived. Which is weird that places like died off.
Yeah, I mean, as I do, I watch my food shows, Anthony Bourdain,
Yeah.
Ugly Delicious, all those, and
Yeah.
just like, I know that there's a bunch of those that like, I didn't, like I was hoping maybe one day I'd eventually be able to go out to like Pittsburgh or
Right.
like places in the United States, but even I don't even know what's going on in like, there are some places that I wanted to see in Italy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Don't know they're still
I don't know
there.
if they're still there because Italy got
Hit hard.
hit the hardest, and then all the European countries are getting hit again.
Yeah.
So
Hey, but New
Yeah.
Zealand.
New Zealand holding it down.
New Zealand figured it out.
It's because they're small.
Yeah.
It's a small island. They got to figure it out.
Oh, Kiwis, they figured it out. But yeah, I mean that was the pandemic was definitely a hard part of this year.
Yeah.
What else?
But
Black Lives Matter happened.
Black Lives Matter happened in a real way.
Yes, definitely.
In a real way. Rest in peace to everybody that lost their life. George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, to the people in the forefront of
Yeah.
of what kicked off
Yeah.
the intensity of the movement.
Yeah. Definitely
and then-
grew and definitely had. I think the best part of that was the amount of conversations that the amount of conversations that happened with like people of color and white people
Yeah.
that wouldn't have happened if something like that like hadn't happened. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think.
Because that was so universally, like with the death of George Floyd, and again, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Was so universally like, this is bullshit.
Right.
Like there was no like, people like Philando Castile.
Yeah.
They were able to say something. Green. What was his? Who was the dude that was selling Lucy's?
I can't remember.
Can't remember. Can't remember their names, and I feel bad about. I don't remember their names.
I'll Google it real quick.
Yeah, just if you can Google, some of those names, like the dude that was selling Lucy's that got shot, the young kid that got choked out as well. That was, I think he was autistic, the one that would go play violin for the animal shelter. Like everybody on there.
Malice Green? Wait.
No, that's not the right. I think I pulled Green. I don't think that was the correct name.
Jacob Blake, Kyle Rittenhouse. No, that's
Kyle Rittenhouse is
that's the kid who he had the
piece of shit.
yeah. I don't see anything. But yeah, that whole thing.
But previously, white folks were able to kind of just, I don't want to say justify because that feels disingenuous, but like a better term, justify like how it went about. Like the homie that was selling Lucy's, and for people that don't know what Lucy's, it's the single cigarettes.
Yeah.
He had a criminal record. They had criminal records. They were
Right.
running away from the cops. They were blah blah blah. Like there was some form of justification.
They were able to call those people, for lack of a better term, criminals.
Yes.
Like they were able to do that. But
With George Floyd, it was like
he used a counterfeit dollar.
he used it. He tried using a counterfeit 20, and then
And then stand in a room by yourself. If you still don't get the whole Black Lives Matter thing, stand in a room by yourself for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, and don't move. Like that is going to be the longest 8 minutes of your life, and to think that someone had a knee on his
the
neck,
entire body weight of a grown man on his neck
right?
for that long.
Like that's that is so long and so. I still haven't watched the. I think I've seen clips, but I've never
I couldn't
actually
watch
watched
the
the
original
entire
one. I
footage
couldn't watch it.
because I like that is too long for anyone to be like, this is humane.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like after 30 seconds of that, it's like okay, this is no longer humane.
Yeah. Like I can, again, I'm able to justify the knee on the back to handcuff.
Yeah, no,
I
if you're trying to handcuff someone,
I
yeah,
get
that's
somebody for that.
fine.
But once you're handcuffed,
Right,
what are they gonna do?
like your job isn't to
Best case scenario, they roll over and they are magically able to get up, and then you just push them over.
right,
Like like they can't do anything
right.
without their hands.
Like a policeman's job to me isn't to hurt people.
Yeah.
Like if you need to if any force needs to be used, it's to like detain or if someone is like actually coming at you with something,
Yeah.
like then you have to use force. But like if someone's laying on the ground and you're just like for 8
Chilling
minutes,
on their neck.
like what are you like? Like what goes through your mind besides like pure hate? I can only think of like hate that would have to go through your mind to be like this makes sense to me. But yeah, like that stuff definitely shook people.
Yeah, it
And
did.
it shook a lot of like I got to see a lot of white people for the first time really go like, oh, I think I get Black Lives Matter
Yeah.
now. Like,
And some white people did it right, and some white people,
posted a picture of a black profile picture. They were like,
that was the dumbest. Ugh.
I
you
still-
want to talk about branding? Like,
I still tell the joke of what white people should have done is post a picture of you with a black guy. Like, do that. Do that. Tell me how many people can post now?
show me the black people you know. But the entire idea of oh no, talking about the white people, it felt clout chasing,
Yeah.
disingenuine.
Yeah.
Some of them, again, some people, again, I got to shout out to my social justice warriors that have been riding it
Right.
since they decided to be that. They have been
Still posting with
even
also Black Lives Matter still.
yeah, they've been even throughout, like
Yeah.
since like 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
Shout out to them for not changing there, but some people were like, oh, I get it now. Let me post about these things. Let me share these things. Let me try to have conversations with my family
Right.
about these injustices and
Right.
so on and so forth. And then other people are just like, yo, black square, all right, I can do that.
Right. I did my
Did my duty.
my work
I'm
of social
not
justice.
racist.
Like that's not being an anti-racist by
Yeah, that's not how that works, big dog.
I posted a black picture on my
Black square, yeah, that was
It was definitely the funniest thing about that was the idea that it was supposed to black out social media so that black voices could be the ones that are mainly on there. But but then like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook all became just black pictures. It was like,
Yeah.
well, we didn't do.
and I've said this before, and I stand by it. Black Lives Matter has some of the worst branding,
Yeah,
like ever.
with
One sec.
Black Lives Matter and defund the police and stuff like that.
Defund the police is still one of the worst
Yeah,
hashtags, if you will.
because like the hashtag of reorganize or redistribute the budget for better social care of our citizens isn't as trendy.
Isn't as trendy. But reform the police, reorganize the police,
Right, yeah.
reallocate the police.
Yeah,
Like, all three completely better options than defund the police.
right.
Because, me and Dwayne talked about it. Like, I would like to talk to a cop, see if they can justify me the Lamborghini in L.A.
Right. Right.
I'm not saying it's...
Go back to episode 1 if you don't know.
Go check out episode 1 if you haven't seen episode 1. But maybe maybe it's legitimate. There's a legitimate reason to have it. Off the top of my head, I can't think of it because I think it's a Murcielago too. So that's $500K.
I can't think of anything.
And you know, I was gonna say the justification would be like a trap car, like you can sell drugs out of it, but they painted it black and white.
I was about to say it looks like a cop car.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the issue.
That.
And if you people that don't know cars, Lamborghinis are 2-seaters, so you can't put a person in handcuffs in the
Right.
car. So again,
It's purely meant for show or for.
I don't know what the reason is. If somebody, the cop in LA, can give me a legitimate justification, you know, okay, cool, I'll give it to you. But until that happens,
Right.
I don't think so.
So
Reallocate that money, sell the Lamborghini, take that 250, 500K,
give it to social. Give it to social workers.
give it to social workers, give it to police training. Like I don't
Right.
like. I'm not mad about the budget, but with a lot of the budget things like in the world, it's just being spent on bullshit.
Right.
Like Andrew Yang wants every police officer to be a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. That makes a lot of sense to me
Right.
as a person that enjoys fighting. If you don't know what a purple belt in jiu-jitsu is, that's if you're on a rushed course. 3 years, 4 years. That's a lot of training.
Yeah. You'd be very good at what you do.
You'd be very good.
Which would be nice to have, good cops at what they
Yeah.
do.
And if you don't know what jiu-jitsu is, it's the art of
grappling
and subduing people. What happens when you arrest somebody? You subdue them.
Right.
If you knew how to do that properly, you're just gonna feel better going into the situation.
Right.
Like if you know that like if it gets a little sideways,
You wouldn't have cops that were so scared that they had to pull a gun on
yeah,
someone.
their trigger finger isn't gonna be super jumpy. They'll just be like, yo, if homie's coming at me, I can take him down, put him in a proper chokehold, put him to sleep, handcuff him,
Right.
and then he'll wake back up in 15 seconds, and then we can pick him up, put him in the police car.
Right.
I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with the 9-month, a year training that
all
they
of it,
get
all of it
at the
gets-
beginning, and then they're done.
Right. Oh yeah. There's no.
There's no further training
Right.
like required.
Like community work that.
Yeah.
That would be. Is that a thing? I wonder if that's a thing. If cops have to like do community service.
I don't believe so. Again, if there's a cop that listens to this show, please, like, let's have a conversation. I would love to have a cop right here.
Because that'd be like dope if cops could you have to do community service. You have to be in the community that you're gonna be in. You have to see what you're gonna see.
Yeah.
Like
And there's back in the day, it was you were a cop in the community you grew up in, and that was made a lot of sense.
Right.
But then you got into those sideways like Brooklyn and Hell's Kitchen, where it's like you are then in this weird spot where the people you're arresting.
Right. Yeah.
So then you kind of get paid off, and you let
Right.
people go, and blah blah blah. So then,
I went to middle school with you.
yeah. So then they started taking people outside of that community and bringing them in. It's like, but if you ain't from Brooklyn, you ain't gonna know that.
Words.
That's weird.
I've been getting this weird thing where my throat just goes. it all pulls back, and there no words can come out anymore.
Huh.
I don't know. What
Sounds like a problem.
I'll figure it out later. But yeah, you definitely, if you get people that don't know their communities, you end up getting people that are like, all right, you're on the ground for counterfeiting money. I'm going to put money in your neck for...
If you don't know the community, if you don't have proper training, if you have this high level of anxiety that every cop does, because every traffic stop could be your last because you don't know if homie's going to pull a gun out at you and blow your face
if your
off.
community is also trash, which is never my I don't think I've talked about this on the podcast. My uncle one time when I went to Chicago, he took me to Inglewood.
Oof.
And Inglewood, the hood. As far as drove by a
Stamp of approval. Hood.
hood. I'm talking drove by and there was two people getting arrested with like coke sitting on the car. We were like, oh, okay, this is like
That's cool.
this is what's happening. And the coolest thing that he did for me in that moment was he pointed out the streetlights. As we drove by, he pointed out the streetlights. He was like, look how like rusted and messed up they are. Like this one doesn't even work. This one's like completely torn up. This one like it's supposed to be gray all the way down. It's just green all the way up. And then we kept driving. And then as we got into downtown Chicago, instantly the streetlights got better. Yeah. And it's like, oh, this is why people get killed over there because that's the city. That's not the people there. That's the city that has decided we're not going to care about those communities.
We're not going to care as much about these communities as the other communities because we already believe that they are too far gone.
Right.
So we're not going to allocate any money towards them.
Like too far gone.
We're just going to keep making them worse.
Right.
And then we're just going to keep acting like they don't exist.
Right. If they want to build another liquor store or they want to build another gun store, they can do that. But as far as like making their community better, no.
No.
So, yeah, that happened this year.
Yeah, that happened this year, man.
And I hope...
I hope
nothing like that
more
ever
good
happens
comes.
again.
I hope nothing like that ever happens again. But I hope more good comes from it. And I hope people are willing to have these conversations. And I think that's a big part of it too, man. As a person of color. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Excuse me. As a person of color, you have to be willing to have those weird things.
Yeah.
And if you're not a person of color, you have to have those uncomfortable talks with your family.
Right.
It's like, hey, that's shitty.
Like, hey,
let's not say that.
Don't say that anymore. Can't say that anymore, Grandma. I'm sorry, but
I get that you're from a different time,
but
we ain't there no more.
Yeah. Turns out people don't like that.
Turns out. Again, I know that you didn't know that back then.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at you.
Yeah.
But we know now. So let's clean it up a little bit, dog. Just a little bit. Yeah. It's
So
what else happened this year?
Oh, okay, so we had quarantine happen. It was just weird. We were just inside for a while. The election happened.
The election happened.
Whoa. How am I going to say it? Whoa.
That's still going on. People still think Trump won.
Oh, yeah.
Which is
bananas. Yeah, until Biden literally gets inaugurated.
Which Trump, still might not happen.
Has Trump conceded yet?
Nope.
No. That's the sad part. Yeah, until that happens, it won't be. It won't be official. But
yeah, it's just. I mean, that situation is just such a bloody mess.
But hey, that whole thing ended, and I'm glad, because that's one of my favorite comedians, David Cross. He on Twitter, Biden was like, "All right, it's time to." Biden said something that was like, "We've been through a lot. It's time to unite and come together as one," or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that tweet. Yeah,
and then David Cross retweeted and said, "No, I want blood." And, if you know David Cross, like that's a joke. He doesn't literally want blood. It's a. But like that whole thing happened, and I'm glad it's I just feel like we're gonna get back to some kind of like normal, where like like if John McCain or if Mitt Romney had won either of those elections, I still think we'd be okay right now. Like we'd be chill. Like things might be weird, or we might be like in kind of a weird spot, but things would be okay. I
wouldn't be angry with John McCain.
Right.
From what I remember from his...
Yeah.
Like his views and his loose policies.
Like pretty like, I'm just going to be a president and I'm just going to, white supremacist. No, that's not going to be a thing. That's not...
Yeah.
Stand
by and
stand back and stand by. That was Trump's saying.
Stand back and stand by. Could you imagine?
Like... I could, like, I didn't think that could happen. Where someone, like, a president would be like, white supremacist.
I'm not going to, I can't denounce him. But I'll tell him, like, hey, bro, wait.
Y'all just stand back over
Be
there.
on call.
Just wait. Like, oh, we're just cool with it. We're just
Yeah.
like totally cool with the idea of white supremacy being a thing. So yeah, that happened.
I would say those are probably the three big things:
Yeah,
quarantine, Black Lives Matter,
yeah.
presidency. So, what good happened for you, Doug?
Um,
What are you taking out of 2020?
okay. Number one, I'm taking my instruments with me. I got a soprano saxophone, a tenor saxophone, and over the
You did
break,
get a lot of
I got a
horns.
ukulele.
Of course you did. Actually, oh my God, I'm gonna get a ukulele. We should play songs together.
Yes, we should. I've learned several, and it's actually quite easy. Like, it's easier than
There's
I.
like 6 chords on the uke. Man,
Oh, there's all of them.
I know, but you're only gonna use like 6.
I spent a while just like figuring out like voicings and stuff. It's great.
God, I wish I had your nerdiness on instruments. I just don't have it.
Well, that's really been the big thing as far as like instruments goes. This year has been a year for me that I have sort of gotten back into music. I don't know. I got really out of it because of like not because of teaching, because of college. I had just gotten really like I don't want to do. I want to at least teach music, but I don't want to play music anymore. Like I was not
You
about
majored in music instead of playing music.
right. Yeah, I just didn't want to do it anymore. But this has been a year like, luckily because of the quarantine, I was able to like, enjoy myself. Like this is the first year. I realized this at the beginning of this year. I hadn't learned like a piece of repertoire in 3 years prior to because
Wow, really?
I didn't have to learn anything my senior year because I didn't have a senior recital or anything, and then like my last semester I didn't have to take lessons, so the lessons that I did take were very like don't want to say they were well they were instead of the usual 3 hours they were only 1 hour,
You
and
take 3 hours of lessons?
no credit hours.
Oh, okay.
Because they were like advanced lessons, like for
Gotcha.
your later years.
I was about to be like, oh my God,
No,
3 hour lesson?
no.
That's disgusting.
But that lesson, I didn't like have to like learn anything like really new. I just kind of like chilled out. Didn't have to perform anything. I was like, very chill. But yeah, I realized I hadn't learned anything new because I was tired of learning stuff. I was
Yeah,
like,
no, I get
I
that.
was like, I didn't want to learn anything else. I was very, but this year, like, I actually enjoyed myself playing. And I guess the other thing, I've learned to be more emotionally open. Yeah, be more emotionally open. That's been an interesting part of my year, being able to like actually like open myself to people.
Process emotions, express emotions.
I mean, I think I process them, but I guess it's more on the expressing side. Like when it came to like friendships and stuff, I was very very much so on the side of like, friends are impermanent and
Yeah.
they won't last. So why even get close to people? But this year I was able to go, okay, no, I actually like I love these people and like I want them to be around for a while. So that's been another part of like 2020. It's been like, all right, let's actually like put your emotions out there. So,
Hell yeah.
what about you? What was good for you this year?
I learned how to be selfish again. Which is a really, I don't know if that's the best way of putting it, but I'm gonna stick with that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick with that. That's that sentiment where it's like I've been everything I've been working on in my life was to benefit other people.
Right. Kind of like what I forget. Max, is that his name? On the last episode.
Zoom?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Max. The ginger or the Mexican?
No, the Max. No, that's Max Carney. No,
Michael Lehman.
Michael Lehman.
Yeah.
Yes. Like kind of like the way you guys were talking about, like how like teaching like it's been like about like you work those 80 hours a week
Yeah.
for other people. Like you're just like doing stuff for them instead of, you know, maybe 60 hours a week and 20 hours a week is for you.
Yeah, yeah. No, and this is kind of like after talking with Michael about that, this is kind of where it's coming from. Is that's where it's sitting in my mind. Is
Yeah.
I, I was a bartender working for other people. That wasn't for me. I was a waiter.
Yeah.
Working for other people wasn't for me. I was teaching. And that like the art of teaching was for me because that's what I wanted to do, but I was doing it. I only got better because I wanted the people I was working for and working with to have better results.
Yeah.
Right? It wasn't. Yes, my drive has always been to make the kids better people, and through that, you will get better musicians. But if just looking at it, it's like no, I was the visual guy for my group of people.
Yeah.
That's what I was. So like that's why I had to be good at it. Is
Right.
because I was the only person I was doing, and I took that into my first 2 years of teaching, and it burned me the hell out. And this year I took some steps back, and like I keep talking to people, keep asking like what hobbies are.
Yeah.
I did things for myself. I did this bodybuilding show 100% for me.
Yeah.
Right? There's no reason to do that.
Yeah. No.
There's no benefit to my job. There's no benefit to anything other than just my well-being.
As far as a hobby goes, that's a hobby.
Yeah, it's a hobby. Yeah. And then this thing, man.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because this isn't for like, this isn't gonna like affect our careers.
Like there's no benefit. There's no direct link
right.
benefiting being a teacher from this.
Right.
Yeah, the argument is like I'm talking to people, I'm talking to teachers, and I'm getting tidbits and blah blah blah. Yeah, but no.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I am I the only reason why I want to do this is because I missed that part of bartending and waiting and Uber driving where I got to talk to individuals. I got to learn people's stories. I got to hear things people didn't get to talk about normally.
Yeah.
And like Layman talked about it on the last episode, like he was like, man, I haven't gotten to express my thoughts on teaching or my marriage in a long time.
Yeah. Actually getting to talk about stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I missed. And that so like selfishly, like how can I make that happen again in my life? I'm not gonna start bartending again. I did have
You had that moment.
I had
where,
that
like,
thought.
You thought about moonlighting or something.
Yeah, I went for a run on Sunday, and I was like, what am I gonna do in the spring since I'm not doing indoor?
Don't moonlight.
I was like, I can go moonlight Friday, Saturday. And I was like, nah.
Nah.
I was like, take the time off. Take the time off.
Yeah, just
Don't
take
need
the
to work.
time off. Just
Pick up another hobby.
yeah. Start like gardening or something.
I do want to garden. I want to get into gardening. I got all the stuff to make bread. I'm determined to do bread. I'm determined to do sourdough. July, I'm gonna have the perfect loaf.
Hobbies, yeah, they're definitely good to have.
They're good to have, man.
But don't moonlight as much.
I'm not gonna moonlight as bartender. I'm not going to. But I did have the thought because also I do miss like the act of literally the act of
bartending.
making drinks. Like I do enjoy that. So I think when I start doing family dinners,
Yeah.
I'm also gonna just kind of
drinks.
I will have a paired cocktail.
Okay.
With dinners.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So, and this sounds a little weird. How would you feel about like a cover charge?
Where?
Sounds a little douchey
At our
for
dinners?
family dinners. Yeah.
Because like if you're making the food,
Yeah.
I find that fine because like we
Okay.
don't.
Yeah.
Like, we don't pay for that dinner. You pay however much you pay for.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Okay. It felt douchey, like when I had the thought, but I was like, because
No, if we pay like $5 to get
yeah,
dinner, like
exactly, and that's all it would be. Just like I would still pay for a bulk of it, but just like it stemmed from the idea of like, what do I do with beef Wellington? I was like, I should do a lobster risotto. I was like, yo, like that's beef Wellington already is like so much.
Oh,
And then I was looking at lobster tails and I was like, it's like $18 for two.
right. Yeah, that's like super expensive.
So
Just
it's like,
make that on
it's
its
like
own.
$100 meal.
Right. Yeah.
I don't want to spend like I love y'all, but
Yeah, no, that's not. There's no like. No, you're making food for people, but it's also like we're also eating your food.
yeah.
So.
But and then that too, man, got back into cooking.
Yeah.
But I really got to kind of shout out Rogan and Andrew Schultz, and that sounds super weird because I don't actually know them, and but they're like. As long as I've listened to Rogan, I started listening to him back in 2017. And he, like, every person he has on, he's like, you should start a podcast. It's not that hard. Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. And see, if you don't like it, you don't like it. But, like, he's like, if you want to do it, like,
Just go ahead and do it.
just go and do it. You don't have to wait for somebody to give you that opportunity. You could just start it.
Right.
And then Schultz, and I'm still really mad. I finally got the hoodie that I bought from him.
the just do it yourself.
No,
no.
I got the one that says "I love you" on the front, and on the back it says "I roast you because I love you."
Oh.
Because that's very much on par with who I am as a human
Yes.
being. And I should have got the shirt that said "Just do it yourself," and because that's his whole spiel. It's like, shut up and just do it yourself. Like, just if nobody's making moves for you, make moves for yourself,
Yeah.
and invest in yourself. Trust yourself to do the work, because that's all you can do.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what I've done. That's what I've done personally. That's what we've done out here, where it's like you didn't and listening to a bunch of people, it's like I would rather hire work ethic than talent.
Right. Yeah.
And between you and new guy Chris, it's like you didn't know how to do anything audio, but
I could run GarageBand and I could make some sick beats on GarageBand.
Yeah.
Like 8-bar loops. But that was it. That was literally it.
so, but you're, out here next to me and Duran, it's like the people that work the hardest. In my mind, it's like you, Duran, and myself. I was like, he doesn't know how to do audio stuff, but if I ask him, he'll figure it out.
I sure did.
And here we are. Same thing with new guy Chris. It's like he wants to do the camera thing. He doesn't know how to do it. He doesn't got the software, but I'm gonna ask him to do it, and he'll figure it out. And he has. And it's just been this kind of passion project.
Yeah. And things are going to get wild on whenever things start to kind of change up.
Yeah.
Like these things you're talking about, like doing like different intros and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like, man.
Like there is different things to do then, and I still don't know what this show is and what I want from it.
Yeah.
But I love the idea of having Max come in and do a month review of music. That sounds badass.
Yeah.
I want new guy Chris to keep pulling clips once his life kind of settles down. He's not with us right now. He's with his family.
Right.
Shout out to them. I hope everybody's living well. But I want him to start doing the clips thing again. I want to do a monthly movie review with you.
I've been I've been watching movies. I need to actually do the reviews on
Yeah. and I don't know what the purpose of this is, and I think that's okay.
Giving people the opportunity to talk about what they
that's such a broad.
I think you said on accident on your first intro.
Exactly. Giving people the opportunity to talk about shit that they care about.
Yeah.
And I think we've done that so far.
Success.
Successful, man. So, going back to my dad's question, how long am I going to do this?
Yeah. Whenever it's done.
Whenever it's done. And if I start making money from it, dope. If I don't, Dope.
You did it.
I did it. Yeah. Like, and I'm gonna continue. Like, I'm not. If I never make money from this, that's not gonna be the reason why I stop doing it.
Right.
Like, when I stop having fun,
Yeah.
that's when I'll stop. And I don't see that happening anytime soon. So, it's been a fucking year, man.
Yeah, man. We've definitely been through a lot.
Been through a lot, grown a lot, and I hope if I know a lot of people have struggled through this year, and I'm sorry to anybody that's lost family from the virus. I'm sorry to anybody that lost businesses.
That was COVID.
Lost I hope that even after losing stuff, because everybody lost something.
Yeah.
Some people more than others. Some people more intense than the others. But nonetheless, everybody lost something. I hope that you found ways to grow, regardless. And I have, and I'm grateful for that. And I think you have as well.
Yeah, definitely grown a lot this year. It's been
Talk about emotional growth, you and I, man.
Yeah, we've definitely on the emotional level.
Good golly, Miss Molly.
Because both of us were very. Let's not. Let's not feel.
We were emotionally detached at different levels.
Yes.
And I'm still dealing with that, and I keep thinking about it, and it's the anger thing, and that's scary.
Because anger,
I don't feel anger.
Oh, okay.
And that's in talking about the switchboard from Rhonda.
Yeah.
I think that's the one that I shut off.
You shut off anger, so you're like, do I turn back on anger? And
I don't know what happens if I turn anger back on, and I don't.
Life gets weird.
Life gets weird. But even with still having my emotional switchboard being mostly turned off.
Yeah.
I feel like I've grown a lot, man.
You at least have the thing I've learned the most, you at least have the knowledge.
Yeah.
Of how to, because before this year you didn't really, for me, I didn't know that some of the emotions I felt this year, I didn't know I could feel those. I was convinced. I was like, I could never feel that, and now I'm like, okay. I can.
I still don't know how to cry. I think that's an issue. I shed tears.
Figure that out.
Yeah, I need to figure that one out. But I think that ties into the anger thing.
Well, watch a Bill Street Can Talk. You'll cry. I just watched that last night. It's good.
But yeah, man, it's again, thank you for helping me with this deal. It's been a lot, and I hope you've learned and gained stuff from the conversations that I've had.
Oh, definitely,
in the room for.
It's been I'm not the most social person in the world, so getting to know the 20 plus people we've had on the show, I've been even in that 2 hour window we get to see them, I'm like, I know you. Well, I know you a little bit better.
A little bit better.
People like Scott and Austin and Connor and all those guys. I've been I know you now.
Yeah.
Max, all those people. I'm just oh, Dwaylen. I'm like, you're a cool person. I'm glad you exist.
Yeah. So, episodes that are coming, 2021.
Yeah.
We gotta have Cameron back on.
Yes.
Dad Talk Part 2.
Yes.
Because he has a child now.
Whenever he figures out how to come back.
Yes. It's gonna be a while. Obviously.
Yes. Give him time.
Give him time. A, because maternity leave. B,
yes.
Because we're still in the pandemic, and he's got a young child, and he doesn't want to risk any of that. So I totally understand. But we're gonna have Cameron back on to have Dad Talk Part 2. We're gonna have Dwaylen back on for Black People Part 2.
Yes.
That feels a little dirty, just encompassing it, but just that's really what it comes down to.
Because we didn't name the episodes. Yeah. Back then.
I got my boy Dre coming on, and we're gonna have a conversation about bodybuilding. He's, like I said, he's the only other dude that's competed that I'm cool with. But then also, he's one of those guys that, much like a majority of my friends, can have those really intense conversations and uncomfortable talks.
I'm gonna try to get some of my friends to
Yeah, we
coming
need
in
to have
too.
Jacob on. We need to have. There's a bunch of people still left to have on that are like in the queue. We just got to find the dates for them.
You doing that? I was like, is there a list behind us?
Yeah, man. It's a list right here on my shoulder.
Oh, okay. It's a checklist.
Yeah, man. Checklist.
You don't have a chip. You have a checklist.
A checklist.
Oh,
But yeah, man, I'm excited for 2021 and what's gonna come from there.
resolutions.
So yeah, dog. Resolutions. Do you do them?
I do.
Okay.
Here's my problem. Every year I've done resolutions, and I frequently do this. You should see my computer; it's a mess. I do too big of plans.
Okay.
I always go too wide, and I did this. I did this actually this year because I'm a big planner, and I like I own at least just for classical saxophone. I own like 5 etude books.
Okay.
And it's something around like 120 something etudes. I can't learn all those this year.
No.
But that's always been my plan. Has always been
Okay.
like so this year my big thing is do less but do it. Because usually I tend to go like, all right, I'm gonna do all this stuff, and then I get overwhelmed by it, and then I go, yeah, I shut down. So I'm like, this year's like, I'm gonna do less, but I'm going to set out like goals and plans, and do it. Like over the summer, I want to swim a mile. That's one of my things. Is like,
Oh. Okay.
I did a little bit of that for Boy Scouts. We had to swim like long distances.
Yeah.
And I have a pool that has like laps in it. So I'm like, okay, like just go do like set small plans.
Yeah.
Not small plans. Like those are pretty big goals. But like
That's a solid goal. I mean,
yeah,
a mile, like that's mad attainable. And shout out new guy Chris, man. He'll just give you workouts.
right, right. Like that's something. Like I just I have these plans in my mind that I'm like I want to do all this stuff and like I want to perform solo this year. I want to go to at least like 4 or 5 jam sessions because I haven't been to a jam session since I lived in Denton. Like I haven't been to one of those in a while. So I'm like, okay, I just need to like set these small plans, and they have to get done.
Yeah.
What about you? What's your
I've got like my first half of the year
yeah.
kind of planned out. I don't have the back half yet. But like I got a lot of small teaching goals, which is
Okay.
good for me because same issue. So I always go a little bit too broad.
Right.
But I'm gonna have
30 scores. No.
yeah. My percussion studio is gonna have 3 more performances. They're gonna do a solo performance, another solo performance. They're gonna do a quartet and trio performance, and then we're gonna do the full blown percussion ensemble concert.
Yeah.
So there's that. I did check off something this year. I had 3 kids make the region band, which is
Yeah. I saw
that
it.
has been shout out to my kids gang. I had 5 audition and 3 of them made it, so I'm not mad about that. So, but I just kind of need to keep that energy going. Like, there's a strong,
There's a big chance that
there's a big chance
really
where
work
like
out.
the vibe finally happens where it's like region matters.
Yeah.
So, feel good about that. I have those 3 performances. Individually, I'm doing a marathon with Duran in February.
Okay.
Gonna do very little training for that.
Okay.
I'm just gonna do it, just like the bodybuilding thing.
Okay.
It's just gonna be off the bucket list. Complete a marathon
Yeah, ran a marathon.
under 6 hours.
Okay.
Big goal is under 5,
Yeah.
which I think is doable because I did 14 miles at 10 a mile.
Okay.
So what is that? 220.
My brain's not working right
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
So I did 14 miles in 2 hours and 20 minutes,
Yeah. Okay.
give or take.
Yeah, that's attainable then.
So that's manageable.
Yeah.
And I did very little training for that as well. It was during quarantine. I just
You just went out there.
just
and
went
did
it.
it.
Ran 7 miles back.
Luckily, your cardiovascular system is
Yes.
up for that.
My knee is the big problem. I just gotta tape that
Fix
bad boy
that,
up.
yeah.
And then I'm gonna do another least 2 shows,
Okay.
two bodybuilding shows again, and just try to place better, man.
Yeah.
My goal is to have a trophy by 30.
Okay.
So I got 2 years.
Oh yeah, you turned 30. Oh my gosh.
I turned 28 this year, dog.
Oh. You turned 30. Oh, that's weird. That's weird. I
That's how
don't
I
like
feel about
that.
that.
I don't like that.
Don't like it at all.
Man, I'm turning 25 this next year. Also, another thing, gotta figure out the grad school thing.
Yeah,
Because
that's the vibe.
I've been like, am I gonna do like summer, or am I gonna just leave? Am I gonna do summer? Am I gonna, because I've been like back and forth on the whole
I got you.
grad school thing. Because it's like one of those things like you gotta do it. And I'm like, I don't know what to do though. I'm like, no, figure it out. Like, time to like actually, because I've been always like, kind of dealing with all the first couple of years of teaching. We're just like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Let's just not do it. Like,
Yeah.
no, let's actually go ahead and
Get after it.
yeah, because I'm tired of not having plans. You know what I mean?
I dig that.
Yeah. So, hopefully 2021 is gonna be a nice year of let's get some stuff done.
Hey,
we
man.
got some stuff done this year. Let's get even more stuff done next year.
Baby steps, bro. Baby steps on that growth. Both mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually.
Yeah.
Just get a little better.
We got this though.
Okay. Hopefully the world's a little less on fire.
Yes. It'd be nice to go out to. It'd be nice at this time next year. You ever say a sentence, so you're just like, ah.
Yeah.
It'd be nice at this time next year to like go out to a bar and be like, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Like, we just did that year. That was super cool. That'd be nice to get to that point.
Yeah, it would be. Well, cheers, brother.
We did it.
50 down, 50 to go.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. 'Cause after 50, man, that'll be a year, and we'll see where we're at after that, man.
That will be it.
The low gross, I know.
Episode 100. Ooh, I should do. No, should I set that? I was gonna say like I gotta swim my mile by episode 100.
Yeah,
Okay.
do it. Because it's about July.
Yeah. I'm gonna swim a mile by episode 100.
We'll say around 100.
Sure.
Either before or later. Like the week of,
Sure.
because it kind of depends on where the dates lie.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah,
But yeah, dude.
Okay.
Get that mile by
Episode
Rondo.
100. Put it on the podcast right now.
dang. Put it into existence. Make yourself accountable.
Oh, that's scary.
Amen. But it'll be good. Speaking to existence, right?
Yeah. The secret. Thanks, Oprah.
Shout out Oprah. Gang. To everybody that stayed with us all the way to the end, thank y'all very much. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I hope you guys, it's 2020. Although it was a shit show, I hope you gained something from it. I hope that you figured out how to pivot. I hope that you, even if it only ever sucked, I hope you at least learned the lessons from it.
Something.
Something. Did something, gained something, learned something, loved something. Oof.
Something.
Something. Anyways, we appreciate y'all. Appreciate all the support. Y'all the realest. Shout out to all of y'all at home. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you as always. New guy Chris, I hope you're well with your family. And we'll see you next time. Fingers crossed. Everybody at home. Peace.